What's up, interpreters? I am Gaynell Brady, owner educator at Our Mammy.
What's up, interpreters? I'm Song, your NAI conferences and events manager.
What is up, interpreters? I am NAI's executive director, Paul Caputo. Gaynell, thank you so much for hopping on and joining us here on What's Up, Interpreters.
I am happy to be here. Huge fan of NAI. I'm happy to be here.
Well, thank you for that. And you certainly do a lot with NAI. One of the things that you do.
I'm a huge fan. I'm looking at Gaynell. I know y'all can't see her right now, but I am like starstruck. I've seen her on the website. Ooh, I've seen her picture in these pamphlets. Ooh, like she is like, I was like, oh, I get to meet her online. Oh my gosh.
I'm the same way. I listen to the podcast. So I'm like,
You were, when we were setting up the intro and we were saying, okay, here's how we start the thing, you were nodding. You're like, I know. So I was like, hey, appreciate that you listened to the podcast already. So one of the things that you do with NAI is that you're an associate editor and an author for Legacy Magazine. And we have an issue coming up for which you have written the main feature article. It is the lead article in this issue on interpreting disasters. Obviously, you have a personal connection to this, and when this issue comes out, the issue's not out yet as we're recording this, but it will be out by the time this episode drops. If you would, Gaynell, please just take us into that article that you wrote for Interpreting Disasters for Legacy Magazine.
So I'll say I have shared my Hurricane Katrina story verbally with many people. When I was a tour, I guess you would say, facilitator for the Louisiana State Museum, I often gave tours with the school groups and I shared my story, but I never wrote it down. And so I felt like, this is the perfect way to, I guess, grieve with my family. And I feel like with NAI, it's my family. I feel it's a safe place. So I feel like I can just put my feelings in writing and just kind of like issue my own little call to action, because it really does hurt when you lose someone to a natural disaster. And I felt safe to do that, share that part with you guys.
So for those who haven't seen you speak or are not familiar with that story, do you mind sharing that story now to get us started?
Yes. So almost 20 years ago, later this month will be 20 years of the anniversary of Hurricane Katrina and Rita, basically. And it was a very difficult time for my family. A lot of transitions happened in the middle of that storm. My dad, who's like this 6'2" guy, I thought to be extremely strong, I saw him just break down some point almost to infancy, as we constantly receive phone calls of someone passing away or a body being found in a storm, of someone that we grew up with. Our neighborhood was the lower Ninth Ward, and it was the hardest hit community in the city with Hurricane Katrina. That neighborhood is still recovering from the levee failure and the results of the storm. And so my only sister died in Hurricane Katrina. She drowned in her home. She refused to evacuate. We tried to get her to leave. I tried multiple times, but she didn't want to leave. And I remember one of my last phone calls with her, I would always call her a friend, and she joked when my last call, she was like, "I'm not your friend. Remember, I'm always your sister." And so that was the last words I heard from her. She died in her home. One of my cousins found her. It was very close in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, where they found her body was still in her house. And her home was maybe a couple of blocks from where the levees breached. So she drowned probably almost instantly, because I don't remember her being able to swim. So she passed away, and many other relatives also passed away. By the time that the storm Hurricane Katrina came, I evacuated with my younger kids and my parents and my brother. And my sister didn't want to go, but I had to leave because I had younger kids and my mom's on dialysis. So it was a very difficult time for my family. We evacuated to Southwest Louisiana, and it was a couple of weeks after Hurricane Katrina hit. Hurricane Rita came, so I had to evacuate the family again. And this time I was just determined to get out of the way. And we went to Memphis, Tennessee, where we stayed. I stayed there from pretty much September to the day before MLK Day. And I came back home to New Orleans, a very different New Orleans, but happy to be home. But it was a very trying time for us.
Gaynell, you are also founder and owner of, is it My Mommy's?
Our Mammies.
Our Mammies.
Hmm.
And with that, you were of enslaved people descent.
Yes.
And so between your work at the Louisiana State Museum
Hmm.
interpreting Hurricane Katrina, and
Hmm.
then you and Our Mammies interpreting your family history, you
Hmm.
really are talking so much from the heart.
Yes.
And
Yes.
how is that for you? Like, are you exhausted every day?
I'm not exhausted every day. I have moments when I feel like, okay, I need to decompress, or as my good sister Angie always says, sis, slow down. Um, but I, I guess for me, I feel like I have to tell as many stories as I can while I can. And as long as my mouth can move, I'm going to do it. So I'm up looking for new stories. Even on my off days, I was like, ooh, the archives is open. Let me go see what they have in there. So yes, it is exhausting, but yes, it's time. It's time. I feel like I feel more empowered now more than ever to share these stories, and to find more ways and different ways to share these stories, because I experience on my end so many organizations that are losing funding, and I don't let that stop me from doing what I'm doing. I find another way to get the work done.
When it comes to the work that you're doing as an interpreter, what do you think the role is of that deeply personal story that you have to tell in conveying messages, conveying meaning to your visitors, your audience?
I think my life experiences, from being a museum educator, then being a park ranger for a number of years, and then now working in the preservation spaces, I feel that we have a responsibility to always lead with the truth, and to always use every tool in our toolkit to explain things, even when they don't make us feel good. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's draining, sometimes you may be just frustrated, but we still have to push forward. And I think that's being a great interpreter. Everything that I've watched, every presentation I've watched at NEI, with all of the episodes that I've listened to, I hear so much strength and perseverance through all of us. And no matter what, I believe interpreters are real fighters. And so we will fight. You would tell us, oh, we don't have funding to do that tour. Pff, we're going to still do that tour. We're going to figure out a way to get it done, because there's that sense of urgency that we have to share with others. And as much as we fight, we want to give, and we want to leave too. We want to leave a legacy. We want to leave people with more than they came with. And everything that I've done, that's what I've done from the beginning that I can think of, is just leave people with something.
You are very good at difficult topics, interpreting difficult topics, and not really persuading, but standing your ground when somebody asks you or they call you out on something. Again, people just go read the legacy articles that Gaynell has written. You will know what I'm talking about. What are some best practices for other interpreters to, kind of have a counterpoint to somebody who might, a guest, a visitor who might be kind of getting in your face?
I've had many situations like that. I'm in New Orleans. I do a lot of programs in the rural deep south. For me, I think I have the ability to do it because I always feel like somebody's there watching me. And even if it's not like in a spiritual sense, I always have one of my children there watching me. So I always try to show them to show courage and to always tell the truth. Yes, you may have hurt feelings, but it's okay. You can't say I didn't tell you. I told you the truth. And I've had arguments with people, not really arguments, I'll call them little debates, because I don't really like to argue. But I'll share my perspective. You can share your perspective. I'll share mine, and then we're done. We're done. I'm not going to change a story to make you feel good, and I don't want you to change your story to make me feel good. I just want both of us to tell the truth. So I think that's the most important thing that we can do. We shouldn't shift our stories based on who's in the room. We should always tell the truth, no matter who's in the audience. I want to build trust. I want to build like a relationship with you. And it may hurt. You may, and I've had people when they come up to me, we have a conversation and say, "Well, no, that's not the way it went." I say, "Well, I can tell you how it went because my dad told me, and I'm the first generation out in someone's stomach on a plantation. So this is what I know based on what my dad experienced firsthand, and this is the way that this story actually went." And they would disagree, but then they'll circle back. "Well, I thought about that a little bit." Okay, we could talk.
Hmm.
And I think that's okay. Sometimes it'll take people some time to process things, but they can never say, "Well, so that wasn't true." Well, it was true because I'm leading with the truth.
And Gaynell, our mammies, is it you're always depicting one of your ancestors, one of your personal family tree lines? Is that
Always.
correct? Hmm.
There's only one exception I made to that rule, and that was for the Herman Green McGallier house. There was an enslaved woman there by the name of Laurette, and I was asked to portray her for a what was it? I think it was for some type of virtual tour. And I did it the first round and the film didn't go right. And so I told him, I said, "I have to do this again, but first I need to go and get Laurette's permission." So I needed to be in that space, in her room, in her space, almost asking like for her permission to do it. And when I went back, it was perfect. So that's the only other time I've ever portrayed anyone else. And I do that purposely because when I worked in all of these different museums across the state, I didn't see my family history. And I almost felt like, well, darn it, regular people didn't matter, only the famous ones. So I decided that I wanted to share my story so that other people can say, "Hey, these regular people did ordinary things." And it's okay to say, "Hey, these ordinary things were really extraordinary." Coming from the plantation with no money and being able to buy a building and turn it into a church or a school for your family, that was amazing. And it's really cool to talk about that. Although they were not millionaires and they weren't free people, they were still amazing people.
In your article that is in the current issue on newsstands now, NAI members go out there and read it in the NAI member area. And in fact, I mentioned that this article was the first one in the issue. It's the main feature article in this issue, which means that it's actually free to everybody to read. You don't have to be an NAI member to read this article. So please go find it. It's really incredibly important. And one of the incredibly important questions that you ask in the article is, why should we interpret this? And that is such a simple but striking question, and it gets at, in my mind, sort of what is the role of interpretation in a situation like this, with a disaster like this? What do we learn from the disaster? How can
Mhm.
interpretation help save people?
Yes, I agree. I People always ask me like, "Why do you want to give this tour Hurricane Katrina? Doesn't that's like, I guess you're traumatizing yourself." I just don't want anybody else to die. And sometimes that means that I have to take on the pain to prevent someone else from passing away. It's the same as I don't mind portraying one of my enslaved ancestors to prevent someone else from being enslaved. I don't mind because I understand that that's my call to do that. I'm called to do this work. So sometimes it means it's not going to be easy, but I still need to do it.
And as you were saying, it's about telling the truths, right? And those truths are very profound and coming firsthand in all the work that you do. It sounds like, Gay, now it really has an impact on your visitor and your friends and family also.
It does. Like I said, for me, when I'm doing this work, I always feel like there are people watching me. They may not be here with me physically. It's like I can't get in front of an audience and tell a story about Hurricane Katrina and not tell the truth and tell the details around how my sister died and why she died. I can't let my sister down in that way. I can't. I can't talk about slavery in a way that will make everything seem amazing when I saw that there was suffering. I see the things that happen and they're showing up in my DNA. I see, rape. I've seen all kinds of things that show up in my DNA, and I can't lie about that. I have to move forward with the truth and love too. I add love in too, because sometimes when you love people, you have to do things that they don't always agree with, but you're doing it because of love. We
Love's
need tough
love.
love now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we do. So I want to kind of ask you a different question.
Hmm.
How do you do your costumes? Your costumes are like amazing. Your dresses, like tell me all the things.
So the dresses, they're a journey. I guess when I research, for example, there's going to be an exception coming again. But when I research these people, I imagine what their lives were like. I try to imagine what they look like because I don't have photos of them. But when for example, my grandma Lizzie, who was my third great grandmother, I saw she was a midwife. Again, I thought that was really cool. So I started to look at photos of the people around her and say, I wonder if Grandma Lizzie would want that dress. I know she probably didn't have it before, but I can give it to her now. So that's what my mind goes, is like, oh, she may like purple or green or blue. And so that's where it goes. It literally just goes from photos. It goes from things that people told me about them. I used a photo of my grandfather to create a dress in honor of his mother. And so inspiration comes from various places.
And do you make these dresses yourself?
I've made all of them except for the very first one.
Stop it. Okay,
Every
interpreter and excellent seamstress. Oh
I
well,
would
okay.
say excellent. They can't
We
see all
won't
of the
say
work
that.
in the inside. I'm doing my best.
Well, they look good in the photos. I'm gonna have to come check it out. And also, isn't it hot? Then Louisiana
Nope.
in
It
full gear.
it is hot. But I'm
Yeah.
never hot in a dress. In my mind, I'm not hot. In my
Uh-huh.
mind, I'm comfortable because I'm in the zone. I don't think heat.
Mhm.
I think
No,
teach, educate, do it, do it, do it, do it. And then when I get in the car, I'm like, AC.
Is there is there one ancestor in particular, and you have some great historic photos on the Our Mammy's website?
Mhm.
Is there one ancestor in particular whose story you particularly enjoy sharing? And I know, I hate the, tell us your favorite ones, but tell us your
I have
favorite
a
one.
favorite one. I have a favorite one. It's not a secret. I have a favorite one. She is the reason I started this company, and her name is Belle London Jefferson. My mama Belle is the reason I do what I do. She's the reason I get up. She's the photo I carry everywhere. This lady is amazing. I found out she married her husband on his birthday in 1904. They stayed married until 1971. She raised four generations. They died 6 months apart, and that's it. She's my hero. I actually met the family that she worked for, and we're unofficial cousins. It's a Louisiana thing. We're unofficial cousins, but I met them talking about my Belle, and then Arthur gave me other photos of my second great grandmother. So Belle Jefferson, she's it. Anyone who knows me knows. If you ask me my favorite, I don't care how other people feel. It's Belle Jefferson, and they know it.
Is there anything that you've learned that has surprised you as you've been researching your family's genealogy to put these programs together?
I'll give you some family tea.
All right.
So one thing that surprised me came through DNA tests when I found out my husband and I share a cousin, but we're not cousins.
All right.
But we have, yeah, I don't, no, we're not cousins. But yeah, so things like that, finding out that, parents are not really their parents. Some guys thought they were the father and they're not the father, that type of stuff.
What do you mean,
Finding
Gaynell?
out,
I don't understand.
oh, you understand. I'm working on a case right now where I think my grandmother had a child for the guy across the street. Yeah.
She probably thought she got away with it too. She's like, been how many years?
No,
DNA
no.
research is ruining things for everybody.
It's ruining things for our whole family. My grandfather had one, two, three women pregnant and it's at the same time, and they all live in the same neighborhood.
This genealogy, this is
Drama.
It's
This
Yes.
this
Drama.
Yeah.
episode, we're gonna call this one "What's Up Interpreters After Dark." I think here. This is
Yeah. You always get that with me. Don't ask those questions. Yeah.
She says she's going to tell you the truth always, Paul.
Always.
You opened it.
that's authenticity for you. I love it.
Because a lot of New Orleans culture comes from this family. Like a lot of them were the first members of the third oldest social aid and pleasure club in New Orleans. And the music, the jazz, the second lining, the parading that Karen talked about in the other episode, my family was all into that stuff. And my grandfather, one of them, he just got into other stuff after the second line. That's all.
All right, I'm gonna shift gears on you again. For the Song has her microphone muted right now, but she's laughing hysterically, and so I'm loving that. But
I know that me
I'm
and
gonna
Gaynell are like friends. We are like officially best friends right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm gonna do a sharp left turn here. I apologize for that. We're gonna change the tone, but at the time of this recording, we are 2 weeks from the 20th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. This episode will drop after that. For the work that you're doing interpreting Hurricane Katrina, first of all, on a micro scale for you personally, what does that anniversary mean to you? And then on a larger scale for the city of New Orleans, how big a deal is it there? How widely is it being acknowledged?
So I think I'm going to answer that question in reverse. For the
Okay.
city of New Orleans, I know that there's a lot of commemorative activities happening. There was a mural being revealed. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some type of memorial parade, or going to be a lot of talks and a lot of gathering. For me and my family, it's a time of reflection. It's a time for me to really keep an eye on my mom, because she goes into like a darkness around this time. And I can't say that I can fully understand, because I never lost a child. But for my mom, it has been a rough 20 years. So I usually just try to do little activities with her, maybe take her to get something to eat. Honestly, my self care around this time is to not watch the news. I try to avoid social media, and I know it's avoidance, but it's just my way. And I could talk about the hurricane, but it's just that time for me to just really like just take it easy, give myself grace, give my parents grace. I have one sibling, I have a brother, and so he's really busy around this time. And I think it's just, our way of coping by just being together and just talking with each other, maybe sharing stories about my sister. But for the most part, for us, it's to stay away from the larger activities. And yes, I've done them in the past, but the past couple of years, I've kind of wanted to stay to myself.
And in those last 20 years, do you feel like we have learned the lessons that we need to learn? What are those lessons that you want folks to take away from your interpretive programs?
So the one thing I used to always tell the people on my tour and the hurricane exhibit is to always grab a backpack. Whenever there's a disaster, grab a backpack, put your important paperwork in there, save your photos because you cannot replace them, digitize what you can, and take that, put the backpack on your back and walk out the door and let everything else go, and understand that you may or may not come back to that space again. But the most important thing I want people to know about that backpack is the person attached to it. Get the people out. If you can't fit it in your backpack, it doesn't matter. After you grab those photos and those papers, nothing else matters. And that's the one thing I learned from Hurricane Katrina is, we spend a lot of time and a lot of money on buying things, filling up our apartments, buying up all of these little trinkets and this and that. But when a disaster strikes, whether it's fire, hurricane, or tornado, that's not the stuff you're looking for. You're looking for your people. So those are the ones you need to make sure that you get out. Everyone you care about, get them out. If you like them, get them out. If you don't like them, tell them to leave. It doesn't matter. Just save people. The things can be replaced. We can't replace people. Photos help because they give you memories, and we have ways now where we could digitize things. But I still love the tangible stuff. I'm still the person buying the book in the store, so I still want the printed photo as well. But the most important thing is the people. Don't leave anyone behind. Because once you do, you can't get back. If a Cat 5 comes in, you don't know when you'll be able to get back. And that's where a lot of damage happened in our city as well. It took forever to get back in.
Okay, well, we've had this emotional roller coaster,
Yes, that's me.
giggling, laughing. I'm over here almost crying.
Mhm.
Gaynell, you're interpreting down there your whole family down there in Louisiana and Kentucky area, and that is known for real good food down in New Orleans,
Yes.
in Louisiana.
Yes.
So I want to know what's your favorite food?
Everything.
See, I knew we were friends. I knew it.
Everything. I mean, I grew up like my grandmother, that family, that Belle Jefferson I talked about, all of those
Mhm.
people worked in the kitchen as cooks. They worked for other families cooking. So there was always good food around you. And I grew up with that. Oh, wow, this is seasoned well. Give me some. My grandmother used to always cook dinner on Sundays, and my grandmother had 16 children. And so she cooked enough for all of those kids plus the grandkids, and we would all go over. So everything, I eat everything, seafood, everything. My grandfather used to say, if it moves, you can eat it.
Well, and I like people always ask me because I'm from Philadelphia,
Hmm.
where's the best cheesesteak? I have to ask you, what's the best beignet?
Cafe Du Monde.
Cafe Du Monde. Okay.
Really? See, I like Loretta's. They were just a little fluffier. Cafe
Cafe
du
Du
Monde.
Monde.
I
Yeah.
like Cafe
Okay.
Du Monde as well.
You do
Yeah.
too? Oh
Yeah.
man. All right.
Yeah.
I'm odd.
Although I don't know if
person
I've
out.
had Loretta's. That's not one I think I went to. There was one that was Cafe Beignet that we got that was also kind of famous, but Cafe Du Monde. I'm with Gaynell on this one.
Cafe
So
Du Monde.
yeah. Gaynell, this has been something of an emotional roller coaster.
Mhm.
We certainly appreciate you sharing your experience and your expertise. So much to think about in such an important message and an important time to reflect on 20 years after Hurricane Katrina.
Absolutely.
And then the other work that you're doing outside of that, interpreting your ancestors. Where can people find you online? Where can people see the work that you're doing?
Sure. Website is ourmammies.com. On social media, it's at Our Mammies. I'm here. I'm around. I love to chat. Send me an email, text message, whatever. I love it.
And
Stay in
perhaps
touch.
at a future NAI conference near you.
Yes, I'll be back soon.
All right.
And interpreters?
That's
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 up.
what's up.